Today we will cover what you need to understand about overseas money transfers. We will discuss what is an overseas money transfer, how does it work, how much does it cost, deciding on a money transfer service for you, your rights and protections for a money transfer, and finally spotting scam money transfers and common issues. What is an overseas money transfer? An overseas money transfer is an electronic money transfer from one country to another. Sometimes it is referred to as an international wire. You never want to mail cash overseas. An electronic money transfer is executed by a bank, financial institution, or other companies that specialize in transferring money from country to country. International money transfers are very common. Billions of dollars are transferred each year from country to country on behalf of individuals. How does wiring money work? If you are physically going to a retail outlet like Western Union, normally you will take cash or use funds from a bank account, credit card or debit card to the bank or financial services company that will execute the transfer. There are also online apps where you will set up an account with your bank account or credit card information. You will need to provide personal identification as well as information about the person who is getting the money. Based on the amount of the transfer and the overseas location, the provider will calculate the total cost of the transfer, including their fee, any exchange rate markup, plus any local taxes. The provider will give you a receipt for their services and contact their branch in the overseas location of the person you are sending the funds to. The person to whom you are sending the money will have to show identification and perhaps answer a security question in the location where they are receiving the money. What does it cost to wire money? Each company has a different fee or cost structure, but typically there is a fee based on a percentage of the amount you are transferring or a minimum fixed fee. There may be an additional fee if you need to transfer the money faster. Typically, there are exchange rate markups as well. Some companies will claim they have low fixed fees, but they mark up the exchange rate so they are charging you more through the exchange rate. It is very important that you understand this. Finally, there may be taxes depending on the state and country you are sending the money to. Let's take a look at an example comparing costs on transferring money. In the first example, at place number 1, you are transferring $1,000 to your brother in Mexico. Firstly, place number 1 is using an exchange rate of $1 equals 13 pesos. Then there is a fee of $60, which is about 6% of the amount you are sending, or it's a fixed fee. Finally, there are taxes of $5. In total, it looks as if the total fees are $65. But now let's take a look at the difference in exchange rates used by place number 2. Place number 2 is using an exchange rate of $1 equals 11 pesos. There's a fee of $45, or 4.5% of the amount you are sending. The tax is $5, the same as place number 1. So in total, the fees of $50 are $15 lower than place number 1 before you consider the difference in exchange rates. Place number 1 is charging you $65 to get your brother 13,000 pesos. Place number 2 is charging $45 to get your brother only 11,000 pesos. Clearly, place number 1 is the better deal, giving your brother 2,000 pesos more despite the higher fees. Deciding on a money transfer service. There are several variables to consider when choosing a money transfer service. Firstly, the network coverage, the number of countries and locations within the country that the service offers. Next, you want to consider cost. Fees, taxes, and exchange rates all need to be considered in total. Speed. How fast will the transfer be made and be received by the person you are sending the money to? And then, of course, you want to look at customer service, if in person, or the customer experience if you're using an online app. In general, commercial banks tend to be more expensive for money transfers. Which money transfer service is best for you? Here are 6 of the biggest and most popular money transfer companies: Wise, Western Union, MoneyGram, OFX, PayPal and its online provider Xoom, and WorldRemit. Every company has different strengths and weaknesses. Here are some reviews from the financial press. Wise is best known for low fees and favorable exchange rates. The mobile app gets high ratings. PayPal is best for peer-to-peer money transfers. The transfers arrive in minutes. The costs on the mobile app, the Xoom, tend to be high due to exchange rate markups. Western Union has the best network of countries and locations, but fees and exchange rate markups vary country to country. MoneyGram also has a large network of countries and locations, but costs are on the higher side. They're best for cash transfers. OFX is best for large amounts. The mobile app gets good ratings with 24/7 support, but costs are high due to exchange rate markups. And WorldRemit has a good mobile app. The companies are constantly updating their services, so this information may not be the latest information. You should comparison shop. In terms of costs, make sure you understand all costs, including fees, exchange rate markups, and taxes. Compare costs and services of each company. It may differ by country. How you pay may also impact the costs. Using a credit card may cost more, so check the most cost-effective way to fund the transaction. Protections for transferring money overseas. In the U.S., a government agency, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, is there to protect you and ensure you are treated fairly by banks, financial institutions, and other companies that execute international money transfers. A company that does fewer than 500 money transfers per year is not covered by the CFPB. Therefore, it is important that you use a company that handles a high volume of transactions, has a good reputation, and is transparent about all costs. What are your rights and protections? You have the right to have the money delivered to the correct person, bank, or business. You have the right to receive specific information about your transaction, such as exchange rate, amount to be transferred, fees and taxes to be collected by the company, net amount to be received by the person you are sending it to. You have the right to cancel a transfer within 30 minutes after it is sent at no cost, unless the funds were already received by the recipient. And you have the right to report a problem to the company within 180 days. Beware. Common issues with money transfers. Some common issues are you believe the person or company you sent money to committed fraud or is carrying out a scam. The recipient could not access the money on the date promised. You were charged the wrong amount. The person received the wrong amount. The company did not disclose information on the exchange rate, taxes, and net amount to be delivered. A quick review or summary. Transferring money overseas is very common, but you need to understand your rights, the costs, and how each company is different. make sure you understand the different types of costs to execute your transaction. Your objective should be to send the highest net amount, in other words, after all costs, to the recipient overseas. Fees, exchange rate markups, and taxes will all impact the final costs. There are many banks, financial institutions, and specialized companies that handle international money transfers. 6 companies have been reviewed here, but each has strengths and weaknesses. They may differ depending on your specific transaction requirements. In most cases, you are protected by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB. And that's our presentation today. Thank you for attending.